Grand Rising, good afternoon and good evening. Whatever time you click on this reading is the right time for you. And I thank you in advance for your viewership and support. So unless you've been under a rock and you haven't been on YouTube in the last 2 days, you are completely unaware of what I am speaking of or what I'm about to speak of. This energetic tap-in that we're doing right now is going to be around the Tasha K commentary to Milagrograms. Now, Tasha K did her own commentary, I want to say maybe 24 hours ago. It hasn't been that long ago. It hasn't even been 2 days. And she tapped into not just how she felt about Megan suing Milagrograms, but she got off into the case and she broke down each claim by claim, and then gave her opinion of what she thought was going to legally happen with this case due to what was presented. And I think that she did an excellent job. She spoke very eloquently because she was able to speak to people who may not understand legalese and bring it down into layman's terms. So I think that was really, really great of her to do that. And I wanted to look into the energy behind this, or, the energy around it, because I did a live yesterday, which was Wednesday. And in that live, I tapped into an energy where there was going to be a pushback with this case, because a lot of people were going to look at it from the standpoint of freedom of the press, freedom of speech, and freedom of expression. All very, very big constitutional rights, okay? So whether people agreed with Millie or not, they were going to agree to protect their constitutional rights. I also spoke about how this case is going to trigger a certain vibe behind the scenes with the media, whether it's independent media or the mainstream media. People are going to feel like there's a tone policing going on here that is being used to possibly silence people and corrupt, independent media from the standpoint of taking away a constitutional right, okay? Tasha mentioned that. So let's tap into the energy around Tasha K's commentary and her energy and feeling towards Milagrograms and her case that has been brought to her from Megan Thee Stallion. So if someone can be so kind as to timestamp this reading for the 3-minute and 45-second mark, I greatly appreciate you. And let's get down to business. All right, show me the energetic reason why Tasha K decided to take up for Milagrograms. So we've got the Ten of Swords here, and that's the card of betrayal. But what I heard when I pulled that card is I've been betrayed in the past. Six of Cups. And the Three of Cups represents idle gossip and, spilling the tea, gagging, things that are considered, social, things that are considered fun-loving, because it's also a card of being social. So it also represents, conversation, gossip, social media, because social media would represent where this would happen. And it also, triggered how this is used to make money for people who do commentary. Let me cover up her boobies because y'all know YouTube get crazy about our tarot cards. So we've got right here the Temperance card, okay? And that Temperance represents balance through a new beginning. And it's going to bring a wish fulfillment, bottom of the deck, Nine of Cups. Tell me more about this wish fulfillment and what's to come out of this situation. Okay, so there's a lot of anxiety around this situation. And I feel like, behind the scenes, there was a lot of anxiety for Tasha, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of days and times behind the scenes where her mind was racing, times where, she may have even been sorry that she got herself into something. So she knows the energy that comes when you receive this documentation, the type of anxiety that it brings or what it's supposed to bring. So we've got the Eight of Wands here in reverse. And the Eight of Wands in reverse talks about time dragging on, things taking a very long time. So she knows that these court proceedings can take, months, years. You'd be lucky if the proceedings only take a few months, that this could drag on forever. And that can be a hangman at the bottom of the deck. That can be a hiccup because it can be very time consuming. But it shows here that, she is standing in collaboration with Milagro, in solidarity. Now, I will say something about Tasha K's commentary that showed me that there is a likeness and a kinship between Tasha K and Milagro that neither one of them understands that they have. Tasha K is a very, very bright woman. Regardless of how you look at her and her persona on the show, she's a thinker. She's an intellectual. So when she closed out that show with the idea of starting a vloggers union where vloggers could pay $100 a month for a possible legal service, I thought that was ingenious. And I've yet to hear anybody comment on that and mention that in their commentary. It feels like that part flew right over people's head, but that's a game changer. So remember, she said that because that ties into the letter that went out to the public where Unite the People are now standing behind Milagro and they're going to represent her. And they also said that anyone else that is in social media who work in the same capacity, if you are being harassed and going through, a situation where you are facing litigation, that you could come to them and they will evaluate your case to possibly represent you too. So it's like these two are aligning to create something without even knowing it. It's just the energetic pull of what's happening between the both of them. It's giving birth to a new movement of protection. It's just if they are both able to sit down and speak to each other from an off the record place where the conversation will not reemerge later. So, King of Coins. So, King of Coins shows that even if they don't collaborate publicly, if they don't talk publicly, if they don't have a, joint venture publicly, just to align for a conversation, it's going to spark enough ideas between the both of them that it's going to manifest for them. because both of them have this masculine energy when it comes towards business and how they think and how they align things. And that's not to say that either of these women are mannish. What it says is the way that they approach business is very direct. It's very, very, what's the best way to put this? It's very organized. It's when you think about the way men think versus the way women think, men like to simplify things and get straight to the point, deal with what is, and move forward. They don't tend to worry about a lot of the outside moving factors the way that women do, because women are just triggered to process multiple things at the same time. So it's showing that they can be very, very precise, very direct, and also very, very, very lucrative with the way that they create and the way that they think. Both of them have visibility. People are watching both parties. Of course, more people are watching Tasha, but Tasha gave a huge nod to Millie, and she let her know that she's arrived. So now people will be watching her as well. So here's the interesting energy here. You have the Page of Cups falling under the Ten of Swords, and that's one of those combinations like, baby, you'll rule the day. And that's saying that people are going to be sorry for this betrayal, okay, over the Lovers. And the Lovers also represents decision, and it represents air sign energy, which delves into communication and thinking. Let me make sure I got everything. Okay. Let's see. Okay, that's it. Had to make sure I only dropped one card. So there's a lot of reminiscing going on, because the Six of Cups represents the past. And the past card is connected to the Three of Cups, which represents, like I said, the commentary, the gossip, the spilling of the tea in social media. Attached to this very salacious situation that had a carnal nature at its base. So when you got the Ace of Wands represents a phallic symbol, and then you have the Lovers, okay? So, put that together. So the conversation around these two and this case, and this person being a wounded warrior, this is all what's being judged, what was communicated in the past that came out about this case. Tell me why this, the next card is Temperance. What is the balance through the new beginning? Okay, so the battle through the new beginning for the Five of Swords. So it feels like this is going to give traction for Milagro to help argue her case. And there, I keep getting this energy. Something's going to bring all of this energy to an end, the world. And it's going to cut out all the anxiety. But it's not going to be an easy process. This is not going to just be an overnight process. But, Ace of Cups, it shows that, it takes endurance to get through this. And I feel as if Tasha K actually is coming from a good place, because the situation is triggering, it's jarring for her, because it brings back memories of things that she went through and how long and drawn out it was. But she had love to count on, to depend on. And it was the love of her union that brought her through this situation, that helped her to continue to work. Eight of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. And it was like, you know, through her marriage and, you know, those that she collaborates with, she was still able to work and bring things into fruition. So her bringing things into fruition is actually what's going to build a larger brand. So in essence, it felt like Tasha K was passing the baton or taking off the crown and passing it to Millie, because Tasha is going into another, you know, level in her career. And she's allowing this part of the stratosphere to now belong to Milagro. She's giving Milagro this space. It's like she's going into another space and she's gifting Milagro this space. Not that, you know, Millie couldn't make it there on her own, but she's publicly acknowledging her. So imagine if, you know, just by chance, use this as an analogy. Imagine on the day, you know, when Nikki finally announces that she retires. Imagine Nikki saying that she retires and the next queen of rap is, and she names her predecessor. This is what this feels like. So we know that Nikki is not going to retire from making money. Of course, Nikki will retire and go off into the corporate side of things and become a corporate boss. So this is what feels like is the landscape here between Tasha and Milagro. Tasha is acknowledging that she wants to go off into bigger and better things and she wants to elevate. And now is Milagro's time. So we've got a Seven of Swords here, which represents an overlay for the underplay. Okay. What is this overlay for the underplay? So we got a Six of Swords here that represents, you know, moving on from a chaotic, toxic situation into calmer waters. Why is this an overlay for the underplay? Okay, so the House of Coins, which represents, you know, living in a stable home, being able to live comfortably, being able to live affluently. Yeah, so Tasha's got something under her sleeve for sure, because you got the independent woman here falling under this Six of Swords, and the Nine of Coins in this situation represents like for the independent woman, it represents like the independent media, the independent woman in media. So what is the overlay for the underplay for her, telling her to move on from a toxic situation, to move on to calmer waters? Because she did tell her to let them do a default judgment, like don't fight this. Why would she say that? I knew it was something. Baby Tasha knows some secrets. She knows some interesting things. I'm trying to make sure y'all can see this. Okay? High Priestess. She knows some very, very high-powered, high-end alleged secrets, allegedly, that has to do with the star, which represents Aquarius. So I'm not going to say why I feel like she's giving her this information, because I know certain people watch me. But Tasha, you're very sharp. I'll give you that. You're very sharp. So I'm going to keep that one to myself. Like I said, I know someone in particular watches me, and I have people who watch me who love to carry stuff back. So, yeah, I'm not going to put that one on the table, but it actually is a reason behind it that is very, very, very it's very, very, very interesting. Yeah. So, in hindsight, it's more so like Tasha is sorry that she took this to court, to the higher court. She wishes that she didn't. That's part of why she's telling her that. She wishes that she didn't. It's not the full reason why. Now, remember, here's the star. That star has come out, the Aquarius, and this is identifying with the lovers. Um, this phallic energy, this, carnal energy of partying in the past and, you know, being hedonistic and, the conversation of body autonomy, things of that nature. It's like things are going to backfire. Because it's gonna, when it's all said and done, it's gonna end up casting judgment and harsh conversation in the opposite direction. So everything that is coming Milagro's way right now will swing like a pendulum and end up going back in the opposite direction once Milagro's defense attorneys start to really delve into this. And I see this case moving on swiftly and professionally. So here it is. You got the Seven of Wands. The defense, they're going to, look into this, but they're going to take their time. Eight of Wands in reverse. Something about this is going to take time. I'm literally hearing somebody wants to stall this out. But this is not going to work the way they think this is, by trying to stall this out or drag this out to make Milagro spend all her money on defense. So I don't think you want to give too much time, but hey, have at it. So Seven of Coins here, the Seven of Pentacles, falling under the Three of Pentacles and the Empress. This is saying that the legal team is fully invested in this situation, okay? And it's a wish fulfillment for Milagro's team to take this full throttle and win, even if it does take longer than expected. This is the intention. So we have a devil here, which represents, obsession. It also represents toxic, negative, or maleficent energy. And remember, I said Tasha's very resourceful. She gets a lot of information. There's things that she knows that she has chose not to speak on because of her past legal woes. But this falls under the High Priestess and the Nine of Coins. And it feels like, she knows how far these people will go to try to embarrass and drag Milagro because of what was happening to her. But I wouldn't be surprised if she has information on something that I really don't want to speak on, because I don't want to give somebody the jump or let them know what could possibly, be going on behind the scenes. Because all I can say is the people that are around Megan have some very loose lips, and it's not just the ones who walked away from her. So she's going to have to be very mindful, as far as Megan is concerned, about the people that are around her and what these people are, willing to share. Because it's something that was shared by her own inner circle that can come back and really, really, do harm to her case. Yeah, unrequited offer. And it feels like whatever this is, this can come out in court. So I do see that, Tasha K in her own way is trying to protect Milagro, because she doesn't want her to have to go through a lot of the energy that she had to go through with the case that she had. But there's something that Millie has going on for her that Tasha didn't have. Also, I feel that Tasha knows more about the energy that she was dealing with in hindsight, not necessarily legally, but spiritually. And she understands who she went to the table with, and she'll never go to the table like that again. It's the feeling of, showing up empty-handed. Now that she knows who she's dealing with, more so, not just, like I said, legally, allegedly, spiritually, she won't get caught empty-handed again. So it taught her a lot about how things actually work versus how you think they work, so to speak. We're going to do a couple of Panther oracles, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut this short. Alrighty, so we've got libation and overloaded. Now remember what I said. Tasha understands now who and what she was dealing with, more so now than ever. She understands more esoterically now than what she understood before. And what she understands is there could have been possibly, allegedly, something to do with libations that caused an overload to a situation. And it helped to possibly achieve a goal. Allegedly. Okay. And this more so feels like the origin of what the actual problem was. The overlay for the underplay. And remember what I just told y'all about Megan being careful about the friends that she's around. Okay, this is someone who's around people but still feels separate. But look at this person who's alone. It's like having to put on a different face around each set of friends groups. So she's going to have to watch the people that she befriends, the people that are in her friend group, because there is a very leaky faucet that is around her. And if she ever has a situation with this person, this person is going to possibly collaborate to give some information about her that could be really, really shocking, really interesting. And homeless, you know, is not just being without a home. It's like being displaced, ostracized, feeling like you don't belong. Also being like a nomad. Tasha's turned out to be more interesting than I expected, because there's a lot of esoteric knowledge that's popping up here. And it seems that she's very aware of certain things. Even if she may speak on certain things, she speaks on them from a very light-hearted novice type of perspective. But she knows far more than what she says. Okay, so we've got Fate here, and we've got the Marionette, which is like someone who was fated to be puppeted. Wow. Now, that's not for Tasha. That's a continuation to this homeless situation with Megan, where I was talking about she's going to have to be very careful about the company that she keeps, because the loose lips around her will sink her ship if she's not careful. And this is going to cause a lot of stress, because you got endorsement here. And endorsement at the bottom of the deck represents someone who is willing to encourage someone to do something through a possible, you know, bribe, allegedly. So whoever this is behind the scenes with Megan, it feels like they're commenting on her mood and demeanor, how stressed out she is. And see, this is interesting, because there was a friend a couple of years back, few years back, that made some comments to MILAGRO, I want to say in the DMs, about something very personal to Megan. And it came up in the lawsuit. And the only way that that came to MILAGRO was because of one of Megan's very close friends. Now, that's not going to fare well when they go off into what this friend said, what they meant by that, because that friend can actually be, you know, brought into court to explain why she made that statement. But there's other statements out here that's floating around. And when I tapped into the energy of why that friend told MILAGRO what she told her about Megan possibly having a guardian, because that's where that statement came from. That came from one of her best friends at the time. I didn't sense that it was, you know, out of her trying to be messy or malicious. She was trying to take up for Megan and threw her under the bus at the same time. So I do not see that it was intentional that she told what she told. She really was trying to help, okay? She just, her help wasn't helping, y'all. That's all I can say. Her help wasn't helping. She overshot the conversation by telling something that really didn't need to be told, to explain something that was a speculation with the public. So, yeah. Okay. Hopefully y'all can see that better. So, we got an okay here falling under the libations. Like everything is a-okay. You know, someone's making a promise here that they're okay, everything's okay, but they're actually overloaded. You know, someone's fighting against feeling stuck in a commitment to make a goal. So all of this is tying into information that people that are very close to her, you know, as far as Megan is concerned, that are very close to her, that are speaking on the career that she has and the sudden change in the way things are going. And you got adventure here falling under origin. So it's like the story when it's all said and done, baby. It's going to take you for a ride. And it's going to have some interesting alliances here. People that are going to come together when it's all said and done. Not because they like each other. Some of these people, surprisingly enough, some of these people hate each other. Have never liked each other, will never like each other. But they're going to come together under the same umbrella, which is freedom of speech, freedom of the press, and freedom of expression, as long as it fits the guidelines. So I'm going to leave this here, and this is my energetic tap in on Tasha K speaking on behalf of Milagrograms. And I find it to be interesting. I do think that Tasha had good intentions in what she said. It feels like this situation is very jarring and triggering for her because it takes her back to what happened to her. And it's going to be some interesting yet strange alliances. This in its own way is going to unite a lot of YouTubers in independent media and the mainstream media for the same reason. And don't be surprised if you start to see, you know, YouTubers that are not a part of Black YouTube running this story, because it's going to speak to the narrative of silencing people when they don't say, you know, what you want them to say, you know, silencing the people who say the quiet parts out loud. So I'm just going to go ahead and end it here. I thank you all for your time and your viewership. And this reading is adjourned. I wish everyone well in this equation, and let the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth come out at the end of the day, so that the record can be set straight on all sides. And everybody have a wonderful day, and I thank you so much. Talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.